Hello everyone, Drevis here, and today I am watching Swift Baby versus Reglo. The last episode was catered towards learning from Swift Baby's strengths. This one's going to be more catered towards potentially helping him out if he decides to watch this. Um, Now in this set, I didn't like analyze the first two games, but I did watch a little bit, and he does very well. Like game one, he does impressively well. He has the lead almost the entire time. I remember he gets an early edge guard gate stock one, but Reglo just barely. But this is actually very strong from Reglo. Um, because he goes for the egg. I will say maybe just going towards ledge would have been fine. But he goes for the double jump. And most Yoshis can't help themselves. Honestly, an underrated Yoshi strategy is probably just, if you guys can see my cursor, like going, like double jumping, but then drifting back at the end. Or maybe even double jumping and then just drip, like doing some creative air dodge, like on the platform or on the ledge or on the corner. Um, but it's very easy to, because a lot of people, honestly, this might harm Yoshi's in some way. I think a lot of like mid players and lower, like they'll try to challenge Yoshi outright, even though he has double jump armor. Granted, most moves would break double jump armor in this case, and maybe that was what was going on here. But he goes for this nair dodge, which makes sense. If Reglo is like, "Oh, I'm gonna break your double jump armor. I'm gonna try to hit you or swing," the double the air this air dodge would have beaten that. So I understand the thought process. But I think a lot of stronger players that know the Yoshi matchup, uh, their main counter to Yoshi is going to be to give up space. But if you think about it, it is kind of a 50-50. Because if Swift Baby was like, oh, I'm going to double jump and then I'm going to like fade back or do some delayed air dodge, because you would have to get closer to the platform, I think, to air dodge to it. And air dodging to the ledge from this angle, I don't even know if that's possible or not. That might be worth testing now that I think about it. If they can do some like creative diagonal air dodge to the platform like that, I might test that out, but I'll do that on my own time. Um, but generally, if he swung, it would have beaten that. But I do think most strong players are going to give Yoshi space while he's double jumping on. That's generally how you beat Yoshi, especially at lower percents. And that was a very strong F smash, forcing the air dodge and then dash back F smashing the air dodge. But Swift did very well game one. Game two, he honestly does pretty well in two. He's kind of struggling at first, but he kind of starts making it close, if I recall. Close enough that I felt to game three was, yeah, it was like still last stock and everything, and Yoshi can make comebacks like this. Reglo does seem like he has a bit more momentum though, so it's hard. Reglo does seem to have a good sense of. Oh, he also SDs early this game, if I recall. He does like a. I forget exactly what happened. But we're about reviewing game three. Because I wanted to. He does the worst that game, in my opinion. Because he starts off with like, Jesus Christ. Wait, no, I could have sworn he SD'd. I don't know when it happened. Maybe it was game three that he SD'd. I don't remember. Oh, it was game three. But it was a high percent. But I think he does the worst of the game. He's the only game he doesn't take him to last stock. So we'll VOD review that game. Just because obviously the game you do the worst and there's more advice to be had. But I don't know if there's anything going on like mentally that might have made game three the worst, because he was down 2-0. So sometimes you play your worst on the last game just because you're like, oh, my faith in myself doing this isn't as high anymore. But you never know. But he goes in with a jump on the platform. Regula's going to zone with side B. Um, he goes in with a landing aerial here. It seems like he does a nair, right? He does. It comes. Oh wow, that was like frame perfect. That's actually insane. But Regulo tries punishing that nair with an up air, able to pop out shield in time. Gets the nair. Not going to get anything off of that though, so just retreat back. After image technique, but Regulo doesn't fall for it. Able to shield afterwards, so lots shielding is the go-to so far after whiffing. Goes for the egg, B reverse egg lay, but is able to get punished this time. Regulo did not really. Swift Baby was definitely trying to counter Regulo moving in, but Regulo just didn't move in at the pacing that Swift Baby thought. Double jump out. The down air was acting as kind of a wall. I think I remember in the last time I watched Swift Baby, he was doing those down airs on the platform too. Walling back air. That's good to know. That's how that interacts with PK Fire. Maybe that's even why he did it. The forward air is going to beat the egg. Honestly, this might be a hot take. I don't really like just throwing egg in neutral too much. I think sometimes if you're at like a long range, you can kind of do it just to annoy the opponent. But I think I guess it just doesn't accomplish anything. It's just putting your opponent through a mini skill check. Ooh, that was good. It's fine. Goes for the down air. I feel like down air's primarily used to counterplay people playing around short hop range. I think Yoshi does like short hop aerials in and out a lot of the time. And then when the opponent just starts playing around that really hard, a full up down air usually catches him off guard. Does not come under the up air. He's able to air dodge in time. He tries to punish, but gets pivot grabbed. I'm seeing a theme. I saw that similar nair on the exact other side of the stage, funny enough. It seems like whenever there's like a close quarter, like potential hit situation, like he sees Reglo do something. I guess what I'm saying is Swift Baby seems easy to be baited into doing something like this. Sometimes instead of punishing with a move, you want to punish with repositioning. Whoops. You can punish with position, and that could be just as valuable as like getting a hit sometimes, or slightly less. Goes for an egg, goes low. Oh. Oh. I don't know if you meant to F tilt in that direction. That was a little risky. Be a little careful. I saw you lose game one to a similar double jump. I think being more comfortable like double jumping and drifting back. But you kind of feinted a drift back because it kind of baited it a little bit because you kind of drifted back here. In fact, that was actually really good spacing around the forward air. So maybe you were like, oh, I'm going to make them think I'm going to fade back, but then I'm going to go with an air. Go for the spot dodge. Honestly, your shield probably would have just... Shield's been doing okay for you so far. That's interesting. Oh, the egg worked that time. Go for the forward air. That was actually not bad because you could have whiff punished that forward air with it if it was just spaced a little bit better. Sometimes you do want to do landing aerials where you think your opponent's going to land. That seems like it's not nairable, and you get punished for it. Regulo being one of the few people knowing how to punish that. Yeah, I knew Regulo was looking for that back air. But good job delaying the double jump. But ooh, that's been your like demon so far. Is like, I think when I saw you go for a ground pound at ledge. When I was like kind of just like scrolling through, I don't remember if it was this game or not. But honestly, maybe just try doing that more, or you could still just double jump. But instead of going in with an aerial every time, you could just go to ledge or go to like the corner. Sometimes you want to inch your way back into center instead of like trying to force it. Going for reversals is good sometimes though. It just all depends what your opponent's doing. It depends on if you condition your opponent. Because those nairs can work if you do start fading back and your opponent starts playing around that instead. If they're like, oh, Yoshi's not going to go towards center, so I actually have to go closer to the corner to hit him. If you condition them to do that, then those like jump in nairs and disadvantage will start working. This might be different. Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, you were clearly making it look like you're going to go towards like you were giving drift that made it look like you're going to go towards a platform, and I think that's what Reglo was aiming towards. I will say you're a little lucky that up air didn't beat out that nair. I think it just didn't come out like I don't know how it would have interacted actually. It might have just traded, but it looks like it was a frame too late. You hit the nair. Down tilt, nothing wrong with that. Go for the forward air. I think forward air can actually be a little deceptive. I saw Reglo. I think Reglo is trying to parry that actually. Because you let go of shield before you hit. And Yoshi's forward air does have a bit of a delay to it. It's not that fast. So that is a benefit. It's why, again, I don't recommend... It's mostly because of multi-hits, because back air, down air, etc. Pairing against Yoshi is not always too strong. It can be a good option in some specific scenarios. But I don't think pairing against Yoshi is as good as other characters in my personal opinion. I could be wrong. If anyone high level disagrees with me. Or any Yoshi means disagree with me. But because back air is a multi-hit, down air is a multi-hit, and forward air has a bit of delay to it that... Because if people are parrying, they're usually parrying to you like landing at a specific timing. But forward air, since it's delayed, people are very likely to let go shield too early and get hit, just like Regulo did right there. Hell, I might actually use forward air a little bit more than I have been with that knowledge in mind. I might try to take advantage of that. That was a good grab. You're doing pretty well stock one. I think Regulo might get some momentum. Ooh, shield just in time. Full up nair. That makes sense because you planned to show up nair back last time. I do sense a... I think I remember in the last set I watched you in, though, that you had a good, like, shield awareness. But I did see some nairs that weren't... Ooh, he read the jump with that. It makes sense, though, because Yoshi's will jump. I think... Who was the Yoshi I was watching that, like, was more grounded? Ooh, that's unfortunate. No, I'm not gonna lie. With my Yoshi, I try doing that ground pound to ledge sometimes. I think if you're consistent at doing it, it's broken, but sometimes it just won't work. And I don't know the... Granted, I haven't lapped it or asked a lot of people about it, but I don't know the mechanics on what makes that shit work. Because sometimes I'll be right next to ledge and I'll ground pound it, and I just won't fucking grab it, and I don't know why. I think there you were maybe slightly too far away, but, like... I think it's like a horizontal thing. Like, I think it's surprisingly lenient vertical, but horizontal, it's, like, tight. So you have to be right next to ledge, horizontally. But vertical, you could be surprised, like, not too under it, but surprisingly under it, from my experience, I think. But I haven't, like, really tested it. But that is a strong recovery option for Yoshi. In fact, it might even be one of his best. But the fear of, like, SDing like that is definitely real. Oh, that should be in there? Let me look at Lucas's shield safety real quick. Because I actually don't know. Lucas. Holy moly, okay. I'm looking at his aerials, because forward air is surprisingly safe. I've seen that move compared to Cloud back air before. But that is, like, shockingly safe. Back air is shockingly safe. Up air is shockingly safe. What was the move he did? It was Nair. And Nair should always be punished. You could definitely Nair that. Almost all of his other aerials besides down air that are way safer than I thought they were. Huh. Maybe Lucas is a little underrated. But that definitely could have been a Nair, but I think you were scared. I like that reposition, though. Sometimes if someone hits your shield, it could be more valuable to just reposition. But I think that Nair would have been guaranteed it would have somehow staged. It probably was more worth it just a Nair. But I think if he hits literally any other non-Nair down air move on your shield, that full hop into doing something else is perfect. And you maybe don't know all the differences between Lucas's. Like, I didn't know before I just looked it up. So I don't blame you for like, oh, I just got punished for trying to nair Lucas twice in a row. I'm not going to do it a third time. Understandable and honestly good adaptation if you don't know the frame data. But for future reference, nair and down air are not safe unless they're spaced, probably, or maybe if they cross. I don't know. I don't know all the specifics. But all of his other aerials are like deceptively safe. Go for the back air. Be careful because dash back options are very strong against Yoshi. I've been noticing that with my Yoshi. I'm going to be doing a lot more dash back options against Yoshi. Good shield. Stuff him out for trying to approach. Beautiful. Down tilt in case he does something aggressive to ledge. Back up. Get ready to ledge trap. Go for neutral get up, but roll is... Anytime you like hard read a neutral slash jump get up, roll usually beats it. You try to punish it, but I could kind of tell by the frames that it wasn't going to hit, but I can tell. It's really hard to tell in the moment. Sometimes, though, if you're not sure if something's going to hit, sometimes it's more beneficial to read what they're going to do after. Like, for example, an obvious thing would be, everyone's going to do something different, but you could, like, if you want to read it, you could go for a grab, but if you want to, like, oh, I don't know what my opponent's going to do afterwards, because he could have shielded, he could have done something else. If you did a grab, it could have lost. And you do get punished for it. Although it looks like you maybe could have shielded. But you could go for, like, a shield. Like, one thing you could do in this situation, I think, like, you whiff the forward air. Now, it's a little tricky. Because it's kind of a 50-50, or it's like a RPS almost. Because Lucas could either be defensive, or he could be like, oh shit, you whipped a forward air, I can punish that. And there's not, it's almost like a rock, paper, scissors. Because Yoshi could shield, or Yoshi could attack, and they, depending on what Regula would do, all those would have their own pros and cons. If you had a bit more frames, I would maybe recommend going for like a shield pressure. But I think a lot of Yoshis do have a habit of double attacking. Now, sometimes you do want to double attack. Like, sometimes, like, F-tilt is a beautiful way to cover yourself after whiffing something. But I think some Yoshis, like, do it a little too much, and it does just get shielded, and it's usually punishable. Although I think the fact that Lucas was turned around maybe boosted that a little bit. If you just shield it afterwards, actually. I think if you hit an F-tilt on someone's shield, you probably just want to shield afterwards most of the time, especially if their back's turned. If you're able to double jump, oh, you drift back. If you just do that more on, like, when you're recovering. So you have that concept down and, like, disadvantage. Honestly, I'm surprised Regula was able to, like, chase you. But that makes sense. He's a high-level player. Uh-oh. Yeah, you shouldn't get hit by that. Fair enough. That was a good egg lay. Back air, what do you do afterwards? I might learn from this. I'm going to be honest with you. When I play Yoshi, because I'm trying to learn Yoshi myself, I don't know what to do out of egg lay. I'm going to be honest. It feels like nothing I do works unless I'm like fighting someone who's dog shit and I just down air above their egg at low percents. And that doesn't work on people who know the matchup because people can do like invincible aerials out of it. Ooh, you get stuffed out. Ooh, once again, going for like a revert. So, I think a reversal, like a well-placed reversal can work. But all of your reversals are like, I'm going to jump in, and Regula, I think, is fairly consistent at covering that. Like, even right there, that kind of counts. This is like a more weird scenario, but once again, you're going for jump-in aerials a lot, and it's not work. It doesn't have a high success rate. Oh, that's committal. I'm almost surprised he did that. Maybe not as committal as I thought. He was able to waveland at the end. Good up tilt. Is that a kill? Ooh, no. Is that like... I'm going to lab Yoshi combos soon. But I notice when I play Yoshi, sometimes my opponent will get sent like surprisingly far in front of me and it's hard to up air them. Is that like a DI thing? Like, is that combo... Like, I don't know if you messed up this combo. And if I mess up this combo... It's definitely harder. So it looks like if Yoshi hits up tilt... So you want a DI where Yoshi's facing, it looks like. That might be a game changer for me, honestly. That might actually like revolutionize for me. I didn't know you even I think even if it's not like even if you can still hit the combo and you just have to like go really far to to the left, that might actually just be a game changer because like that is like significantly harder. Holy shit! I feel like I've dived to so many up tilt up airs against Yoshi, but I feel like I'm just not DIing it right. I'm gonna be like a Yoshi matchup guru after all this, and I don't feel like analyzing that. Like, that was a very unique up smash. Oh, that was good on Reglu, honestly. Honestly, I don't think you did anything wrong necessarily by shielding. It's just like unfortunate. You had a handful of things that you could have done. Like you could have rolled, jump, maybe try to attack like jab or F tilt or whatever. Maybe down tilt, like one of your grounded moves. But it eventually forced you into a disadvantaged RPS that Reglo gets right in. But you do tend to shield a lot in those situations, which is a good option. I do tend to notice that top level Yoshis mix up between what they do after whiffing options or in these close quarter situations a lot. Like, shielding is really strong after whiffing options with Yoshi, and so is attack. And then, I forgot what the other one was, which is not good. I should remember these. I might need to look back some of my VOD reviews to take notes, because my memory's not perfect. But, makes sense. Oh, to see the attack works there. F tilt. Oh, beautiful. That's actually good to know. I think they get sent too far with the second, or with the up tilt in that combo. Just go for, I usually go for up air, but it doesn't always work if they get sent too far away. But if they do, you should just nair instead. Ooh. It seems like being cornered against Yoshi and like going for like a long range move to like counter him, like with Lucas's case, grab. Although it feels like you're not really aiming your move at the very like end. Maybe you're just trying to space it, or you're like, oh, I should be walling in front of them. But those pivot grabs seem surprisingly consistent at countering you so far. So you either need to overshoot slightly more and like basically end your attack in the corner, which might beat that tether grab, especially if you're coming in from above with like a forward or something. Or you just need to like play more patient and wait for him to get out of the corner and punish his method of getting out of the corner instead. When did this happen? You go for egg. You try to jump, but that Zair is like deceptively fast going above the ledge. It might be something to be aware of. Is that is a strong ledge option that most Lucases use a decent amount. So it should always be in the back. Like if your opponent has like another example, like against Bayo, I have like her like jump side B from ledge in the back of my mind most of the time when I'm playing her. Because that's a very character specific option. And Lucas seem to be tether from ledge, which obviously isn't as centralizing, but he's able to like put a hitbox out like deceptively fast. Gets a combo, you're able to double jump out, you get the ground pound. You unfortunately don't hit him with the ground pound itself, but the start protects you. Ooh. Those eggs do seem kind of hard to play around sometimes, just because maybe I take back what I said about like random egg throws being mid. I definitely think you should centralize your playstyle around it. And by the way, with the next Yoshi I'm going to be VOD reviewing, this subject might come up a bit more because he for some reason does it more often. But the egg bounce, because I think Reglo reacted to the egg. But if you shot it a little bit higher, it would have just, I think he was trying to parry it. Like he was like, oh, if the egg sent at like a higher angle and didn't bounce, like if you're trying to hit Lucas with the egg instead of like the ground right in front of them, that might be a good like way of putting it actually. Because against Yoshi egg throw, parrying is a strong option. Honestly, shore hopping over it can be good too. But it's like a 50-50. Like if you throw the egg at someone and they parry it, boom. But if you throw it and you aim it to bounce like right in front of them, if they try parrying it, they might miss. Now they might be able to. Someone really experienced in the Yoshi matchup might be able to distinguish the two, but against someone who isn't like a Yoshi matchup guru, fair enough. I think I like landing aerials to catch landings like that though more than tilts, unless you have like a very strong tilt for it. I don't think Yoshi's down tilt's like a, but it can work. I don't know. So the landing aerial. Yeah, once again, that's not narrable. We discussed that. I like those full hop options. Like honestly, those full hop options seem strong. I don't know if that's the only thing you should do, but if you're in a close quarter situation and someone like hits you or with something, but it's safe, just doing that full hop and then pressuring down afterwards seems a lot stronger. That's good. All right, you have corner. What do? You go for the up tilt, but regular goes for a stall, which makes the up tilt not work, and then he lands to your side. You try jabbing, but he moves away. I will say some more like overshoots would also maybe benefit you, because you seem to attack where the opponent is a lot rather than where they're going. Like even like right there, that was actually a perfect example. Thankfully, it works out for you. Good shield afterwards. I don't know. I don't know what you could have done actually. Low key. Whoops, I didn't mean to. After this, what would have been goated? I think. Actually, no, you would have gotten hit. No, 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 no. Not after that. After this down air. Because I don't know how good that is. I think if you like jumped to the left and reverse egg laid to the right, I think doing that out of shield's like really broken with Yoshi. Like I see Yoshidora do it. Yoshidora will even do the wave bounce sometimes where like he's facing you and he still like jumps back into the egg lay, which is harder to execute. But maybe worth it with Yoshi because I think that's like really broken out of shield. But good job, you hit him moving out of shield. Understandable. It was risky, but I understand why you did it. Especially since you're behind, you kind of need something like that. But again, it seems like it's a common theme that Reglo is like moving away from you, and then you're like trying to hit where he was, and then he just moves out of the way and punishes you. Okay, that was kind of like godlike from Reglo. I'm not gonna lie, because I felt like he like knew, like he reacted to the double. He reacted to this double jump. And was able to punish it. Most people like there's maybe like 40 people in the world, including like top level players that like maybe do something like that. What happened here? Once again, you're trying to nair in. You seem to have a higher success rate. Like I don't think he's even punished you going to ledge yet. At least not this game. Maybe he did game 1 and 2. Ooh, that was unfortunate. You just dropped shield too early. Sometimes it's hard to tell. There's like a whole like shenanigans with that's not the right word. There's like a whole like mini game with like, oh, when do you shield? When do you let go of shield? Is the opponent going to do a rising aerial, landing aerial? Are they going to delay it? Or are they going to do a tomahawk option? Should you try parrying? Whatever. Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Understandable to fade back. Like right now, are you going to double jump? Are you going to aerial in? Okay, he goes for something. He goes for like a really high thing. I understand that up tilt, but it does seem like honestly a common theme that I know I'm not like I felt kind of bad because I don't think I've gone to it as many like micro like situations, but like the most common theme, like the thing I'm seeing over and over that might like this one mental flip if you are watching this might be a game changer for you. Maybe you did better game 1 and 2. Maybe you did play worse game 3. And I apologize if you think that is the case. But the best game changer I can think of for you is I feel like you're always trying to hit your opponent, but you're not always like, at least in this particular game, you're not attacking where your opponent is going, you're attacking where they are. And I feel like at higher level Smash, you generally, like every time I watch top level play, they're always attacking where the opponent could be, not where they are currently. You gotta kind of like read the future. You gotta like have that foresight with your moves. And honestly, you have a very strong foundation. Honestly, like I'll be kind of frank, I guess. But I believe you are generally considered the third best Yoshi in the state. I do not think the gap between you and the next two up that are considered is very big. I think you have a very strong foundation. You have a lot of really strong options. Like I did genuinely learn a lot from watching your Yoshi. You have a very strong foundation. I believe you were the best Yoshi in the state for a long time before Choco and Philly came along. And you're like kind of the face of Yoshi in North Carolina, and I can see that experience going through with a lot of things. If I feel like if you like genuinely like put in like attack the future, which is hard to keep in mind all the time, I'm not gonna lie. But if you do that more, I'm not saying you never do it, by the way. I'm sure you read a jump or read a dash back or a dash in decently often. In fact, I see you read dash ins a decent amount with like jump back, jump in, aerial. But I could see you like going back on top, honestly, if you like, because you have the foundation with everything else. I feel like there might be a few options I see top Yoshis do that I don't see you do. Um, and I think you're just going to ledge more, going to the corner more, disadvantage would help you a lot. But if you just like, I think you try reading a. I don't no. That's good shield pressure. That was kind of risky though, but I understand it. You need a kill. That was good. Your egg laser good. I'm surprised Zenna hit that air dodge actually, with how far that reaches behind him and lingers. Oh, is that it? Damn. You go for another egg lay. I think I will say, this is like a small detail. I think you wanted to go back a little bit more than going with the egg lay. I feel like you're a little too close to Lucas to go for it there. But I think you're getting a little desperate. I'm actually a little surprised. I feel like I think Regular just had some momentum and kind of ran with it. But I think overshooting more and attacking the future more, or honestly, it's not always overshooting because if you overshoot too much, that can like the risk reward in that can get kind of iffy. But also just not always swinging as much because like, or just playing around someone like dash back, countering Yoshi's aerials, like dash back, pivot grab, dash back, F smash, F tilt, whatever Reglo was doing was like your kryptonite. Like that, I feel like you just didn't have an answer to that. And I feel like the answer is either like just doing more empty hops, movement, whatever, like, or maybe feinting that you're gonna jump in aerial, but then you're like, actually, I'm gonna jump in and then I'm going to retreat. Yoshi does have the air drift to like be very creative with his air mix-ups, and then occasionally go in with the overshoot. I think that would like help your Yoshi a lot. Like, and it's kind of interesting because I feel like Alex AWG had similar. It was like actually more apparent with him, but it was mostly just because he only did jump in aerials. I think you do more, but dash back option seems to be the anti Yoshi strat that works the most successfully. Something I should probably be doing more, honestly. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that Swift Baby, if you're watching this, I hope you're okay with me doing that, and I hope you found it helpful. I think those are my VOD reviews. I didn't go as much into like smaller details as usual, I feel like, but I think if all of us Yoshi mains learn how to deal with dash bags, we will be unstoppable, and I'll get PR'd. But hope you guys have a wonderful day.